Oh man, look at that. I did not do a good job at the bottom. You are going to see me unsuccessfully sublimate 2 tumblers, and I'm not taking it out of the video because you will learn from my mistakes. This is one of them. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And this is the other one. Let's get started. Hello everyone, and welcome to Crafting with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. In today's tutorial, the plan was to make 2 quick travel tumblers because my husband and I love to travel. Well, I ran into a snafu, and I'm going to keep it in the video because you will learn from my mistakes, and hopefully it will help you avoid making those same mistakes. Now, I'm using the Go2Craft Auto Tumbler Press, and I actually love this press. I'm going to tell you why I love it in a few minutes, but I'm going to take you through the full process the same way that I always do. At the end of this video, if you find it helpful, remember to like the video, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. Now, without further ado, let's look at the materials and get started. The materials I'm using for this tutorial include the Go2Craft Auto Tumbler Press. I'm using 20-ounce straight tumblers. They are the Go2Craft brand. A Cricut heat press mat, a Caesar weeder, a Cricut ruler. I'm using heat-resistant gloves, a sublimation paper, my Cricut self-healing mat, and a PYD Life cup cradle for craft. I'm also using Cricut heat-resistant tape. My printer is an Epson EcoTank 2760 series printer, and it has Hippo sublimation ink inside. These 2 images were downloaded from the Creative Fabrica website, and I will make sure that all of these materials are linked below the video. Now let's get started. The first thing you should do when you are preparing your tumblers is measure. So you're going to use either a measuring tape or some other method to go all the way around your tumbler to measure the width. Whatever your width is, make sure your tape measure is tight around the tumbler. And then you're also going to measure the height. So go all the way from the top and then to the bottom. Those are the measurements that you put in to your software when you're getting ready to print your design. After measuring my tumblers and getting my images printed, I use my Cricut ruler and my rotary cutter along with the Cricut self-healing mat to cut away all of the excess white from the image. Once I finish cutting all of the excess white away, then it's time to get the tumbler taped. Okay, I'm going to power the tumbler press on. The power button is in the back, and I'm going to make sure I have it on the right setting, which is for sublimation tumbler number 1. And I'm just going to put a blank tumbler in here just so it can start to heat up. So it's heating up, and while that's heating up, I'll be taping this tumbler, taping the paper around this tumbler. I typically do not use a lot of tape for my tumblers. I just have a hard time doing that. So I'm going to do it the way I do it. I think that's plenty. I really do think that's plenty. That's 3 pieces of tape. I may add one more just to be on the safe side. Let me just add one more straight down the seam just to be on the safe side. I do not like to add a lot of tape. I think this is good. I think this is great. So I'm not going to add any more tape than that. I think this is great already. Now I'm going to add butcher paper around this, and we will get it put in the tumbler press. Now I'll add a piece of tape to my butcher paper. That's it. And once this reaches the temperature, I'll know it and we will get started. Okay, it has reached the desired temperature, which is 365 degrees Fahrenheit. One thing to note is that it will not beep to let you know that it has reached that temperature. So I'm going to remove this tumbler. I have on a glove, just one glove. I'll insert this first tumbler and I'll put it in with the tape facing out, with the seam facing out so we can look at it. And I will press the start button. It's right here on the top. So what's going to happen is the tumbler press will go for 50 seconds and then it'll rotate and then it'll do an additional 50 seconds. 13 seconds left. It's going to rotate now. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a lot of steam. Okay, you see it rotating. I love that. Okay, it's gonna close it up. And it will press for an additional 50 seconds. Okay. All right, let's look at it and see how it did. I didn't even have time to cut my other image, but let's just go ahead and look at it now. There's no time like the present. How it did. I'll just move this over a little bit and we will take a look at it. I'm nervous. I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. So let me get a weeding tool. This is hot. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. It is so hard for me to contain myself when I love something, and very hard for me to contain myself when I don't. Look at this. Look at this tumbler. Look at this. Look at how gorgeous this is. Now, I should have taped it at the bottom maybe, but I think it looks so good. I think it looks so good. Look at that. I love this so much. There's my seam. It looks really good. It looks really good. In my opinion, it does. Oh man, I think it looks good just like this. Look at the bottom. So it has like a grayish, brownish undertone. I think it looks excellent. So now let's do the second one. I love this so much. Now you see how quick and easy that was. 365 for 50 seconds, turn, 365 for 50 seconds. Once this cools down, I'll add the lid and I'll add the little piece that goes on the bottom. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and cut away the excess white from here and get the second tumbler wrapped, and we will see how this one turns out. But so far, so good. I love that one very much. I have my second tumbler ready. I'm going to insert it with the seam facing out, and I'm going to press start. It'll close up. Okay, now it's counting down from 50 seconds. And once it finishes, once again, it will rotate and we will see what it looks like. Now, while this one is pressing, I'll go ahead and add the bottom piece to the first tumbler that I love. Okay, there's that. And here is the lid. And I think this is gorgeous. And I promise I am taking this with me on my next vacation, no matter where I go. I don't even care if I'm going down the street, I might take it with me. All right, we have about 5 seconds left, and this is going to start to rotate again. All right, so this one has finished. Let me grab my gloves. So remember, with dark full wrap designs, it is very unforgiving. I'm going to go ahead and power this off because I'm finished with this, and I'm also going to unplug it and move it over so we can see what we see. Let's see. This is very, very hot. Now, I did tape the top of this one because the image is dark, and I have learned that with dark images, dark full wrap images, it's very unforgiving if you make any kind of mistake. Like, it's going to be very visible to everyone. Let's see. Ah, man, look at that. I did not do a good job at the bottom. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's terrible. That is awful. I'm definitely going to try that again. So I was trying to redeem myself here. I cut a little bit away from the bottom of the tumbler just to make sure the design was more flush. I taped the top and I taped the bottom, and I made sure that I had plenty of tape down the seam with hopes that I had done somewhat of a better job the second time. Down the seam, and I have tape at the top and I have tape at the bottom, and my tape has tape. Now I'll get butcher paper and I will get my tumbler press going, and we will try this again. All right, here we are going through the process again with the second tumbler with the dark image. I thought I did a much better job of taping this one. You know, I felt like my tape had tape and I would get a better result. So we're going through the first rotation and then the second. And I was so confident in this time that once you see me take the tumbler out, you'll actually see me power the tumbler press off for the second time. Here I am unwrapping the tape and the sublimation paper from the tumbler, and I can promise you my anticipation was so high, and I was just ready to see if I had done somewhat of a better job. I'm using my weeding tool to remove the tape and the sublimation paper. I can look at it and you don't even need to hear the disappointment in my voice. Now this one I did do a little bit better, but in the grand scheme of things, is still not good. If I were to compare this one to the first tumbler that I messed up, I would say is the teeniest bit better, but it's still not good. So when I look at the first one, I know I didn't do a good job of taping. This is the first one. And, if I had to grade it, I would say as an F. This one would probably be a D- or something like that. But I'm not a quitter. So I'm definitely going to try again. And I'm going to tape it much tighter, because what I think is happening at the bottom is that I'm still not taping it tight enough. Okay, so we are getting ready to see how this third one goes and see if the saying really is true that the third time is a charm. Right here, I'm just unwrapping it. You can see how I taped it. I did not tape the bottom this time, and I'm carefully removing the tape and the sublimation paper. I don't want to scratch it up. Needless to say, I am very, very, very pleased with how this one turned out. It's still not perfect because I can see at the top where I still didn't tape it good enough or tight enough. But this one, I would definitely give it maybe a B minus. Definitely in the passing range for tumblers. So once I unwrapped it and got a careful look at it, I can see where I just needed to kind of wipe it off with some water. I'm just going to get a paper towel and wipe it down, but I'm very, very pleased with this one. Much happier than before. All right, I have some water, just regular water on a paper towel, and I'm just going to wipe that off and clean it up. And that is that. I think this looks very good. I'm actually happy with this one. I love this one. This one is going to be for my husband, and the other one is for me. And the other one was a life lesson. So let me give you my final thoughts and we'll get ready to land this plane. What are the things I want you to know about the Go2Craft Auto Tumbler Press? One, I want you to know that if I have to make a tumbler very quick and very easy, and I only have 1 or 2 tumblers to make, I'm going to use my Go2Craft Auto Tumbler Press. I have a lot of tumbler presses. I think I have up to 8 by now, and I also have 2 sublimation ovens. However, if I'm making 2 tumblers, maybe not more than 2, and I want to get it done quick and easy, I am going to be using my Go2Craft Auto Tumbler Press. I love the fact that I don't have to rotate the tumbler. I love the fact that it's a standalone. I'm fine with the color of it. The only downside, and I'm going to be honest and tell you my opinion about it, is that it is on the heavier side. This is the only tumbler press that I have that stands up in this direction. All of the other tumbler presses that I have, are more of in a horizontal fashion, okay? What I'll also say that I really, really love about this tumbler press is that the settings have already been established. So I'm not having to think about like, how long should I press the tumbler? What is the, how many minutes? What is the temperature? All of the settings have already been established. And if I don't want to change anything, I can just keep it just like that. And I'm all about ease of use. Okay, so this is a little summary of the tumbler. So this was the first one, and I did not do a good job of taping the bottom because I tried to use the same method that I used here, and that was not enough tape. So I tried a little bit harder the second time, and unfortunately, I still did not tape enough at the bottom. And then I guess, third time is a charm. Even though this tumbler is not perfect, it's a lot better than the other 2, and this is how it turned out, and I still love it, and I think my husband is going to love this also. We do love to travel, and these will be our travel tumblers the next time we take a trip. One thing that I would caution you on, or one thing that I feel like I learned as a result of this tutorial, is that the darker colors are less forgiving. So even though these are kind of the same image, with this lighter colored full wrap design, I was able to, I feel like, get it really nicely. I think the image came out nice. And if you look closely, you'll see that I did not line up the seam very well, but it would have been hard to tell because the lighter colors are very forgiving. With the Go2Craft Auto Tumbler Press, I will say that this is suitable, I would say, up to 30 ounces. I have also sublimated 15-ounce Cricut mugs in here with no problem. I will leave a link to that tutorial below. This does come in other colors. I think I mentioned that earlier. I have no problems with this tumbler press. I think I love the convenience of it. And, maybe you'll find something that you love about it too. Like I said, the The only downside to this tumbler press is the weight, because it does weigh right at about 20 pounds. Okay. All right. So hopefully you have found this helpful. If you did, remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.